The timeline started when Pat Homers were born in the caveman times to the modern times and in an alternate universe to Half-Life. The timeline started when Pat Homer's shootings were reported because people were being racist to them because they were so-called mistakes. It stopped until in 1989. 1989 was the year when the leader killed Evil Homer, but we won't get into that now. But there was a war with Freaky Union and Pat Homer Union. Also, Freaky Union was testing Pat Homer's species with Mexico's blood and made two tests, a failed one and a finished one. The failed one, gone rogue, and it had to be shot down. This took place in 1978, but they made a finished one and nicknamed it Homer Pat and made more, but there was a problem. They were weak. More weak than Pat Homers, but Homer Pat was the only strong one to fight Pat Homer. So Mexican Pat Homer Union was born and fought with Freaky Union, but in 1979, Homer Pat was killed, but then revived in 1988 by an unknown facility. But in 1989, the war ended with Freaky Union losing, and this is when the Pat Homer War started. It started after Evil Homer was killed, then revived by his doctor, and Evil Homer sent out evil variations of Pat Homer to destroy his cities and the Freaky Union too. Homer Pat was in the Pat Homer War, and he was the strongest out of all the variants. Long-haired Pat Homer and Fly Homer were sent to kill Dog, and Black-eyed Pat Homer was sent out to kill Gordon in Black Mesa East, and Bearded Pat Homer was sent out to destroy the Citadel, and Prisoner Homer was sent to Germany. Homer Pat was sent out to destroy Homerville. Fly Homer and Long-haired Homer were killed by a dog by exploding himself. Same goes with Gordon. He sacrificed himself and exploded, killing Black-eyed Pat Homer. Bearded Homer was sent to a portal to G-Man's realm by an advisor. Those were the only feats in the Pat Homer War, and then it ended with 9 variants left being Haired Pat Homer, Visor Homer, Homer Pat, and Patrick Homer, Robot Homer, Emperor Homer, Faceless Homer, and Prisoner Homer, Weird Homer. They were sent back to Evil Homer to kill Pat Homer leader, but they refused and they were sent to the wasteland, except Homer Pat because his mission was to kill Pat Homer, so he did just that. But at the end, Homer Pat left after Pat Homer was severely damaged. That's the end of the Pat Homer lore. There are the evil variations of Tom, Roy, John, and Nate that are not affiliated with the war, but I won't get into that right now. But that's it for the lore. I hoped you liked listening to this, but now I have to go.